And now the news.
Today's eclipse is a reminder of our place in the solar system, so I hope you're sitting down for this. Despite loads of irrefutable proof, some people still believe the Earth is flat, a conspiracy that is attracting more people who reject basic science. Jeremy Jojola posed your questions to these flat earthers in this next Let's Be Clear interview.
Clarity and transparency. Things you want from people like politicians and newsmakers. Well, let's make it happen with a simple concept. We've got a mobile studio, 2 chairs, a camera crew, and most importantly, we've got you. Oh, you're coming in. I'm coming in. Your questions.
We got a viewer question in coming in from Facebook right now.
Questions I make sure they answer. This is not a joke.
This is not a joke.
You
it is not a
guys
troll.
legitimately believe
Yes.
this theory.
100%.
And it's shot live. Let's be clear.
Matt Prosella and Jimmy Shields. They're part of a growing movement of people who legitimately believe the Earth is flat. Yeah, you may roll your round globular eyes at these flat earthers. Think it's a joke? I promise this interview won't be flat.
So, Matt Prosella, Jimmy Shields, you guys consider yourselves flat earthers?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes.
And how long have you been flat earthers for?
Myself personally, I've been into the truth movement for over a decade, and I've been about a flat earther for, I'd say, a little over a year now.
Okay. So we've had some viewer submitted questions. Carol says, I hate to see a legitimate news source give time to diluted beliefs like this. What's your response to that?
Well, almost all of us that come into this, we look at it almost the same. We have the same initial reaction going, what? They're flat earthers? There's people that think the Earth is flat? Like for me, when I started looking into flat Earth, I came to the realization that water always finds and maintains its level when it's unmanipulated.
Not to cut you off.
Sure, keep.
I mean, the way you're talking here, you sound like you legitimately believe this.
I absolutely believe the Earth is flat.
This is not a joke.
This is not a joke.
You
it is not a
guys
troll.
legitimately believe
Yes.
this theory.
100%.
100%.
Jimmy Root asked overnight, and if it is flat, how can you explain gravity, or is that a hoax too? Is gravity a hoax?
Density and buoyancy.
Yeah.
If something is heavier than air, it falls. If something is lighter than air, it rises. Simple, no gravity needed.
So gravity, in your mind, is a hoax?
Gravity has never been shown to exist. No experiment has ever proven gravity, ever, once.
Let's go to the next viewer question here. This is one of my favorite questions, and this is a question that repeatedly popped up on the feed. This is from Patrice. If the Earth is flat, why hasn't anyone gone to the edge and taken a picture?
We're basically kept in the middle, and that's due to the Antarctic Treaty. In our model, not everybody agrees with this, but in our model, we're surrounded by Antarctica. It's not a continent on the bottom of the ball. It surrounds the flat Earth, holds the water in, and there's a treaty in place signed by 52 nations, and nobody's allowed to go there independently. You have to go there only on guided tours, and we're basically kept away from there.
If you wanted to go to
wait,
Antarctica...
hold on, I'm going to follow up this follow-up question. We're basically kept away from there. What do you mean by that?
You can't go on your own.
Yep.
If you do go, you're going on a guided tour, and you're going to be controlled while you're there.
So, has anybody from people who believe like you guys tried to send people out there to the edge of the Earth?
We're working on funding right now.
All right. Emma wants to know, this is another Facebook viewer question. Emma wants to know, then what causes climate, seasons, or wind?
We don't know everything. We don't have all the answers. All we can tell you is that we're not spinning on a magical ball in space with water stuck to the outside of it. Your images you see are fake. Look for curvature. You're not going to find it.
Through a platform like this, we're not going to be able to convince many, but we're going to let you know that we're out here. We've spent our whole lives watching movies, going to school, just being globes in your face. Globes, globes, globes. Heliocentric model this, gravity that. Everything is it's all programming. Once you could break through that programming, look at it unbiasedly, you'll see that the information that we're talking about is real. There is no detectable curvature, and there is no measurable motion.
I would suspect that there's probably some NASA scientists maybe watching right now.
Good.
They're probably rolling their eyes at us for giving you guys a platform.
I thought that
and
this was
listening
America,
to you
though.
guys. What do you have to say to the NASA scientists who may be watching this right now, then?
Stop lying to us.
Yeah.
We know you're manipulating your photos. We know what CGI looks like. We're not idiots. We know you never went to the moon.
Yeah.
So come debate us. But 99% of the people that are calling us stupid all this, they've never looked into it for 5 minutes. So this is supposed to be a, 2017. You're supposed to be able to question things. So why don't you question a few things?
Okay. Follow-up question. This is my own personal follow-up question. Do you guys believe in any other kind of, beliefs that are not mainstream, like other conspiracies?
I believe we're lied to by the media about 99.9% of the time.
Okay. Do you think we're lying right now?
You personally, no.
Okay.
But we're talking more mainstream.
Okay.
But I would like him to answer that too.
Yeah. Matt?
I don't believe you're lying. I think you're actually giving us the time of day. What you do when you edit the video later is we could be smeared. It happens to us a lot.
All right. Well, gentlemen, even though I strongly disagree with your belief, and I probably will never ever come to the conclusion that the Earth is flat, I want to thank you for subjecting yourselves.
Are you gonna look at it? Or are you just gonna?
I just can't. I'm not. I'm a skeptical person by nature. But am I ever going to believe that the Earth is flat? Absolutely not. All right, fellas. Well, thank you for so much for joining me here in the Let's Be Clear truck. Once again, this was all recorded live on Facebook. That interview is going to live on our Facebook page, raw and unedited. So thank you for watching, and that is Let's Be Clear.
Hey everybody, what's going on? This is O.D.D, and what you just saw was a 9 News special report about flat earthers here in Denver, Colorado. And you're gonna love this. The title is Flat Earthers Who Reject Basic Science. How about that? That's not trying to make us look bad at all. That's not biased at all. The funny thing about that is true science, when approached and practiced sincerely and genuinely, it supports a level and motionless plane 100% of the time. There has never been one experiment that proves that the Earth is in motion. When you try to find the curvature of the Earth, it's nowhere to be found, unless you're looking at footage from GoPro cameras that have fisheye lenses, Hollywood movies, or NASA propaganda. Me and Jimmy from Critical Thinking Always, and also Ace McLeod, shout out to Ace McLeod, we didn't go on this 9 News segment to prove that the Earth is flat. We knew what we were getting into. We went on there in hopes that somebody would see us and say, what the f*** are these guys on about? I'm gonna look into this. And they might possibly come to the same conclusions that we have after looking into it and actually giving it the time of day and researching it rigorously. We didn't wake up and go, I'm going to be a flat earther. That's going to be fun. That's going to be so much fun. People are going to hate me. People are going to disrespect me all the time and try to embarrass me and talk trash nonstop. Family members are going to disown me. Friends are going to stop talking to me. This is going to be great. Let's do it. That's not what happened. We looked into it. I said it in the segment, all the people who have gone mindlessly through life, never thinking about what we live on. We hear about flat Earth and we're like, what? Then we start looking into it, and then we come to the conclusion that it's true, because you have to put in the effort. I talk to people and I say, why is it that you believe that the Earth is round? Round meaning spherical in this instance. Why is it that you think the Earth is a ball? And most people, the most common answer that I receive is, there's pictures of Earth from space. Duh. Well, it so happens that I used to think the same thing. I used to think there were all sorts of images and pictures and videos of the Earth spinning in outer space, and that's why I believed it. Come to find out, when you look into it, NASA admits that they Photoshop their images. They admit that their images are CGI composites.
There's artistry to creating the world.
What I imagine it to be. Unfortunately, I'm not an astronaut. I've never been to space. But I've looked at these images over and over again, trying to sort of get the essence of it. It is Photoshopped, but it's has to be. It is Photoshopped, but it's has to be.
Another reason people think that the Earth is a ball is they claim that they have seen the curvature from a plane. Now, the average airplane flies at an altitude of 35,000, maybe 40,000 feet up. And I find it strange that you can take an amateur balloon to 120,000 feet up, and without a fisheye lens, there is no curve to be found. So how would you see the curvature of the Earth from 35,000 feet? Doesn't make any sense. Another reason people, they're certain that the Earth is a ball is because eclipses, right? Lunar eclipses. We see the shadow of Earth on the moon and it appears to be round, therefore we live on a ball. But whatever is causing the shadow on the moon, we don't even know. It's not the Earth. There's been so many instances of lunar eclipses where the sun and the moon are both above the horizon while the eclipse is taking place. Look it up for yourself. It's called a selenilion. And you could find websites that'll tell you. I'll show you one right here. What makes October 8th lunar eclipse so special? It's an impossible occurrence. It says, on Wednesday early morning, those watching the sky in North America will be able to witness the most unique total lunar eclipse yet. Though lunar eclipses happen twice a year, you might be upset to miss this one, as this rare type of eclipse will occur while the sun is still up. Now, how is the Earth causing the shadow on the moon if the sun is still up above the horizon with the moon? One thing for me, which I also said in this interview, is water finds its own level. Now, that hits me really hard and resonates with me. It's like whether the water is contained within a swimming pool, a pond, a lake, reservoir, or an ocean, it all shares the same characteristics in that it is level all the way across the entire thing from shore to shore. Now, the same thing goes for the oceans of the Earth. If water can't curve into a ball, how can the Earth be a ball when Earth is mostly water? Another thing that happened during this segment is we were asked about how seasons work, and Jimmy and I both readily admit that we don't know how seasons work. But if you were to look back and do your studies, you would find that on the Gleason's map, in the bottom corners, it gives you an idea on how the flat earthers of old believed seasons worked. In the figures, June and December, the white represents the sun's position in his respective months at noon. This shows sunlight inside the Arctic Circle for 24 hours. From June 21st, the sun moves around the tropics in a spiral circle, widening every day until it reaches its destiny on the southern or outer solstice on December 21st. And on the opposite side of the map, it says, on December 21st, the sun moves round the Tropic of Capricorn, and during the day lights up the southern portion of the Earth from the Arctic Circle to some portion of Antarctic ice. There is no sunlight beyond 80 degrees south, but unknown regions of ice. On the 23rd of December, the sun commences his northward journey again, returning to his starting place, and thus completes his seasons. Now, I know that sounds like a bunch of mumbo-jumbo to the modern person, with us being as dumbed down as we have and whatnot. But what people are failing to realize is that us flat earthers, again, we're not waking up and going, hey, I want to be a flat earther, this is going to be great. We're doing our research. And research starts with actually research, doing research. I've done a lot of research on books like Zetetic Astronomy. And this book was written in 1881. This book was written in 1881. And it's full of evidence and proof that support the flat and motionless Earth. Now, have you read this book? Have you read this book to compare to what you think now? You think you've seen a spinning ball from NASA or a cartoon image from NASA or a CGI spinning ball on a Hollywood movie that you know everything? You need to do your research. Start with reading a book like this from 1881. Now, not only that, there's so many books. There's a book from 1890. Is the Bible from Heaven? Is the Earth a Globe? Alex Gleason. He's the guy who made the map. And in this book, he talks about how he created this map and why. And most people aren't looking into this to find out, to even know, to compare. There's another book from 1899 called Zetetic Cosmogony. It's another one worth reading. Another book from 1901 called Terra Firma. The Earth Not a Planet, Proved from Scripture, Reason, and Fact. Have you read that? Kings Dethroned, a book about how pretty much every theory that's ever been introduced from the mainstream standpoint is faulty. And this book was written in 1922. Have you read that? Talks about Einstein, Kepler, Newton, everybody. You need to read these things. You need to compare what you've been taught your whole life and what you've thought your whole life to something that has been a big thing all the way up until the early 1900s. Now here's another book. This is called The Greatest Lie on Earth by Edward Hendry. This was written in 2016. So you could read all these old ones, which is a must. But if you're looking for something newer, check this out, you know? It's pretty much up to date with everything, a compilation of what most flat earthers have come to understand and the reason why they believe that the earth is a flat and motionless plane. If you haven't read any of those books, you haven't researched. People think it's funny that, you know, there's flat earthers. Oh, you believe the earth is flat? Oh my God, I can't believe how stupid you are. You know, they never stop and think what they believe. They believe, you possibly believe, that you live on a spinning ball flying through outer space that came from nothing, a giant accidental Big Bang. You're basically coming from a fucking monkey. You think that's real? You think that's not funny? You think that's normal to think that that people are walking around upside down on a magic spinning ball and they came from monkeys? And yeah, that's normal. That's totally legit. That sounds way better than what you actually experience and what your senses tell you, that the earth is flat and motionless. I just don't know what else to say, man. So thanks for tuning in. Share this with your loved ones, man. We need to wake people up to this deception. It does matter, all right? More than you know, more than I know. The fact that we're being lied to, that alone should make people stand up and go, what's going on? You know, even if we don't know why they're lying to us, they're still lying to us about something very, very big. Now, why are they lying to us? Well, whatever their reasons are, they have them, and they're not good.
A lot of you were riled up after we aired a segment last Monday about the flat earth movement. You know, the dudes who seriously believe the earth is flat. They agreed to take your questions as part of a Let's Be Clear segment. This is from Patrice. If the earth is flat, why hasn't anyone gone to the edge and taken a picture?
We're basically kept in the middle, and that's due to the Antarctic Treaty. In our model, not everybody agrees with this, but in our model, we're surrounded by Antarctica. It's not.
Okay, that was a really weird interview. We heard from a whole bunch of you who said, why waste our time talking about this, and you guys shouldn't have given these guys airtime. Some of you felt we should have had a counterpoint to their flat earth claim, so here it is with our science guy, Steve Spangler.
So is the Earth round like a globe?
Yes, it is.
Okay. All right, there's the rebuttal. Debating over the Earth's shape is stupid since it's 2017 and not 1317. Who knows why people are flocking to this absurd belief, but we hope it got people talking about what drives such theories, maybe something about human psychology here. I'm a very skeptical person.
Absolutely.
You know, me as an investigative reporter who's grown up, you know, in elementary school, went through high school, went through college, and, you know, has been, you know, taught by, by many, many teachers and seen lots of NASA pictures. I can't get on board with your belief. I will probably never, ever get on board with your belief. Ever.
We expect
ever.
that.
We expect that.
If you actually had an open mind and looked into it, you would get on board.
I think I actually do have an open mind, but when I just
said that, condemnation before investigation is the height of ignorance.
Yeah.
You've never spent 6 months and looked into this.
Yeah.
So you're condemning something before you even look into it.
So what you're saying is when people actually do start to consume.
Yes. That's what happens. This is what happens.
Yeah.
You're going to ridicule it. You're going to start to look at it. You're still going to ridicule it, and then you're going to be like, I can prove this in 10 seconds. I can make these guys look dumb. Let me go get...
Sure.
And then they start to try and prove the globe, and it falls apart like dust in their hands. All the questions that they had when they were kids, like, yeah, you say it's gravity, but I've never seen water stick to the outside of a triangle or a sphere, ever. We've never even seen it on the space station. You know what I mean? There's just too many anomalies.
Okay. So I think we start at 3:18. How are we doing on time there? Let me ask the producers. Let me get up real quick. How are we doing on time, Katie? How long have we been going?
25 minutes.
Okay, we're about 25 minutes. Okay, I think we're going to wrap it up here. I always like to end these interviews with our Let's Be Clear segments with last thoughts. Any last thoughts you guys want to say?
Yeah, just what you were just saying, man. It takes somebody to actually go in and really look at it, because it's very hard to break the programming. We've spent our whole lives watching movies, going to school, just being globes in your face, globes, heliocentric model this, gravity that. Everything is just, it's all programming. Once you could break through that programming, look at it unbiasedly, you'll see that the information that we're talking about is real. There is no detectable curvature, and there is no measurable motion.
Jimmy, any lasting thoughts?
So I was always raised to be open-minded and question things, and before you guys ridicule someone, please research. If you want to spend some time and research it and then come and debate us, that's fine. But 99% of the people that are calling us stupid, all this, they've never looked into it for 5 minutes. So this is supposed to be 2017. You're supposed to be able to question things. So why don't you question a few things?
Okay. All right. Well, gentlemen, even though I strongly disagree with your belief, and I probably will never ever come to the conclusion that the Earth is flat, I want to thank you for subjecting yourselves
Are you going to look at it, or are you just going to?
I've been reading a lot about it. I'm on the internet a lot. I've heard a lot about flat earthers like yourselves, and I've read about a lot of other conspiracy theories. I can't be convinced to be flipped to like these conspiracy theories. I just can't. I just can't. I'm not. I'm a skeptical person by nature. But am I ever going to believe that the Earth is flat? Absolutely not.
See,
no.
You're going to be ridiculed, mocked, and shamed if you ever.
I absolutely will.
In your job.
Yeah.
That's why most